saartay anigoo ah Kawthar Maxamed Cabdullaahina aan idin la socodsiinayo waa naga intaa tan iyo kulankeena xiga dhageystayaal nabadgelyo.
Kenin, though, has said she was already dreaming of winning a Grand Slam final when she was just 5 years old. The Moscow-born daughter of Russian immigrants grasping the opportunity to turn fantasy into reality and taking the second set 6-2. It was then that she showed her true mettle. 40-love down on her own serve, she won 5 straight points to go 3-2 up in the set. She continued to snuff out any attempted comebacks from the Spaniard. And then on match point, Kenin saw her rival double fault. All over in favour of the American, 4-6, 6-2, 6-2.
Okay, this is my first speech, but I'm gonna try my best. I just want to congratulate Garbine on a great match and a great tournament. My dream has officially came true.
A first Grand Slam final, a first speech and a first win for Kenin. And unlikely to be the last. Paul Rees, Al Jazeera.
Well, on Sunday, Austria's Dominic Thiem will aim to emulate Kenin and win his first major title. He seeded 5th and beat Rafa Nadal on his way to the final. He'll be taking on title holder and 7-time champion Novak Djokovic. He did, though, get the better.
Exactly. Let's go back up to Josh. Josh?
Well, again, because the malware would be designed to self-destruct, you're not going to find it on there. And because WhatsApp is designed with end-to-end encryption, you're not going to know what the delivery mechanism actually had in it. So you can't say factually what was delivered or what it did. But it's pretty clear that when your traffic increases by 30,000%, something's off, right? And it continued to do that up until the time that FTI went and put it in lockdown.
But the problem is you'd never know if, well, maybe you can. Maybe there are signs that you've been hacked. What can you check for?
Well, again, it depends on what's being done. One of the things that's tricky about what happened to Bezos is that the traffic out of his phone increased substantially, but it increased most substantially in spikes. So if you look at the history of the data egress from his phone over time, it's generally higher, and then there are massive strikes where huge amounts of data were pulled out. So that could have been a big dump of all the photos, or it could have been all of his Skype logs, or all of his text messages. It's hard to say.
There's been some speculation amongst my colleagues. They say, well, wouldn't his battery have run down, or wouldn't his phone bill have shot up? Anything like that?
Well, I'm suspicious that Bezos has a pretty good data plan, right?
I suspect he has.
And if you time when you do the downloads, like let's say you only download all the data late at night when he's got the phone plugged in and he's not noticing that it's running hot, then, who's to know?
Do you have to be a billionaire to afford this sort of nasty technology, or can ordinary people, and are ordinary people doing this?
So this is one of the problems with IT security today is companies like Apple, for example, run a bug bounty program where if you find a vulnerability like this, you can submit it, and if it's legitimate, you can make up to $200,000. The problem is $200,000 is pocket change compared to what you can make selling it to nation states. So most high-end malware authors out there are dealing through brokers that are under contract that stops paying out if the exploit is fixed. Pegasus, the one that has been asserted as responsible for this particular attack, although again there's no evidence, it seems to have been active since 2013. So if you were a large company or you had deep pockets, you could go and buy this and use it, and could have been doing so for years.
Josh, before we started recording, you mentioned it is possible to reduce your attack surface. What's that?
Attack surface is just a term that refers to the the breadth of the vulnerability that you have. So if you're on 6 different social software platforms and you log in and off of different computers throughout the day, and you use one password for all of your accounts, then you've got a pretty good attack